Hey guys, I'm Krista, and one of my favorite things I've created is my children. So I have had 3 kids. They are 3 and under right now, and the title of this episode is Should You Quit Your Job If You're Pregnant? Woohoo! Crazy. First of all, I am not going to tell you if you should or should not quit your job when you're pregnant. That is 100% up to you. I am going to encourage you to listen to my experience and thoughts on the matter, put it through your own personal filter, your own brain, make that decision yourself. But I have so many thoughts on this matter that I am very excited to share them with you. So let's get to it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I am creating a pregnancy planner. I've actually had this idea for a while and I haven't acted on it. So I'm super proud of myself for doing it, making it. It feels really exciting and fun. I'm very excited to support pregnant moms, whether it's your first time being pregnant, fourth time being pregnant. I think this planner is super helpful. There's a couple of spreads in there that are really helpful that I'll get to that have helped me tremendously. But I wanted to include a page somewhere in the planner about this was the question I was thinking of, what do I want my relationship with work to be like while I'm pregnant and postpartum? And I don't know, I didn't actually put it in the planner because I've never actually used the spread, but I do know it's super important to think that through when you're pregnant. So I just decided that I would do a podcast episode about it because I didn't put it in the planner. If you are listening and have a way or think it would be helpful to add it to the planner, let me know. I've already sent the first draft to some people that are going to look it over and give me some feedback. And that spread is not in there, but if you could think of a way to add that to the planner, that'd be really fun to hear your thoughts. But I didn't add it to the planner, but I knew I wanted to share my thoughts here because I have a lot of thoughts about it. So, should you quit your job while you're pregnant? Let me talk about my how I gained my thoughts about this topic. And it is that I think it's the second spread in the planner that I created is what I call a pregnancy tracker. It's literally 2 pages, and the pages are broken into 4 sections, and it's first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, and I put 4th trimester this time, which under it I put first 3 months postpartum. And I think it's super valuable to know your body and how you feel during each trimester. So this was a spread that I set up the first time I got pregnant. The first time I got pregnant, I actually kind of stopped bullet journaling. It really wiped me out. And it was a little bit different. I didn't do first, second, third, fourth. I did when we found out, when we found we were pregnant, and then first, second, third trimester. And honestly, I didn't think too much about making that spread. I honestly have no idea where I even thought of making that spread, but I just thought, it'd be fun to kind of keep track of my pregnancy. And actually on the planner, should I add this to my planner? I didn't add it to my planner, but in the spread, I had the dates of each week. So I was kind of counting down the weeks in that planner through each trimester, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was a fun part of it. It was kind of my countdown. I would just color in each week when I finished it, and then I tracked how I felt during each trimester, and that was huge, honestly. So for me, another thing I want to say, because I am going to start sharing my experience and how I feel during each of those trimesters, is please again, put this through your filter. This is not hopefully to make anyone feel bad, right? I am completely different than you. And so how my body reacts to pregnancy is completely different to how yours will. And so this is just my experience with pregnancy. And if you didn't already know this, I've been pregnant basically back to back to back. I've been pregnant or nursing for the past 4 years, sometimes both. So yeah, I pretty much know my own personal pregnancy cycle very, very well. And I just know it's really, really, really helpful to understand your pregnancy cycle. Just like it's really helpful to understand your period and hormonal cycle, which I actually don't know very well because I'm always pregnant. So I'm like not super in tune with my period hormonal cycle, but I'm very in tune with like the hormones and how my body feels during pregnancy. So please, like, don't compare yourself to me. Just because I've lately, and honestly, I'm just telling this to myself because lately, as a mom, as a woman, I have just found that literally someone can say one comment, one simple phrase in hopes to like help me feel better, or just like sharing their experience. And immediately I go into like comparison mode, or I just like not get anxious, but like just, yeah, I potentially just get anxious about like, oh, well, she's doing it this way and I'm doing it this way. Like, am I wrong? Is she right? Like, there's none of that here. This is just information. This is just another experience. This is just someone who's been pregnant often and a lot in the past 4 years. That if you want my take on like how I've handled that and been okay with it, that here it is. So don't compare yourself to me. Just take this information as what it is. Information. And hopefully like it helps you in some way, but I really don't want it to be like a comparison game. But also it could help you like understand why I do what I do, or am able to like do podcasts and do this work because it's really fun to me. So let's get to it. So I was talking about the pregnancy tracker, which I've actually talked about before on like I think the second episode, so you can go back and listen to the second episode if you want a little bit more details on this. But I get super sleepy during my first trimester. I could tell I was pregnant with a girl. At least I had a hunch I was pregnant with a girl, because I feel slightly different in my first trimester with girls and boys. I don't really get that sick, so I don't really get nauseous. I just get very tired. Very tired. Sleep. I would go to bed by like 7 p.m., sometimes like 6 p.m. I was a teacher, so I worked full time when I was pregnant with my daughter. And so I would come home from work and Spencer would like cook for me. And I remember after dinner, I'd be like, well, I think I'm going to go lay down. He'd be like, good night. I'd be like, good night. Like, I'm so tired. So tired my first trimester, but I don't get sick. So that's really nice. So I was talking about the difference between girl and boy. With my boy, when I was pregnant with my boy, I would say I was a little bit more, like slightly more nauseous. I never threw up. I've never thrown up in any of my pregnancies. So again, no comparison game here, but I just like am so lucky I have never been sick that way. But with my second, when I was pregnant with a boy, I was just slightly more nauseous. Like there were like 2 or 3 nights where I was like, I feel like I could throw up, but I never actually did. And so then when I was pregnant with my third, who was a girl, I was never really that nauseous. And I was just like, I feel like this is more similar to my first pregnancy. And so, yeah, I kind of have that like going for me too, where I feel like I can kind of tell the gender, but also this all might just be in my head. Okay, so first trimester, I'm super sleepy. Second trimester, I literally feel like Superwoman. I pretty much feel like the best version of myself. I feel like on top of the world, want to conquer a million things. Like, I love my second trimester. I like have a little bump. I mean, the bump has been bumping faster with each pregnancy, but like the bump is there. People know I'm pregnant and I'm just like happy. I love my second trimester and I just like have so much fun. And then the third trimester, I would say I don't feel as good. I gain a ton of weight when I'm pregnant. So I'm just literally super heavy, which means I'm also more tired. And oh yeah, like I can't really sleep very good. I remember this last pregnancy, I was just like taking showers all the time at night because I was just like, I just feel gross. Like, and I was very heavy and my baby was 10 pounds. So yeah, I was just bearing a lot of weight. So then I'm excited that I added the fourth trimester this time, because I actually feel like that to me feels like pretty complete, I guess I would say. Like a year of like pregnancy and postpartum. Obviously, like past the 3 months of postpartum, you're like still postpartum. I'm usually like sucked right back into the cycle after. And by the way, I am not pregnant. Like I feel like people keep thinking I'm pregnant. I'm not pregnant. So I've only just been posting mood boards and stuff because I'm doing a pregnancy planner. I'm not pregnant. But yeah, so my fourth trimester, or like the first 2 months postpartum, are again just like new woman, super excited. I love like getting back into work. I love just like having a baby. I just love it all. Oh my gosh, I love postpartum, newborn. Oh, so fun. I would say I'm out of that phase right now. She's 5 months. I'm 5 months postpartum. I'm not in as much of like I love everything's so easy and perfect, because I feel like once like 3 or 4 months hits, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I have a baby, and then you have to like shift and put that baby into your life without just being like, I have a baby, I can just like lay and sleep and do all the things with this baby. It's kind of like, oh, okay, back to reality plus one more human. So anyways, those are my thoughts on like how I feel during my pregnancy cycle. So how does this relate to like, should you quit your job? So now I want to walk you through like everything I've done during my pregnancies and after my pregnancies that pertains to like work, because this is just going to be really fun for me to do and like help me process it, even because again, it's all pretty recent, but also just like for you to see. So when I was pregnant with my first daughter, Celine, I was working full time. And that was really, really hard. I remember being at work during lunch when like the students were finally gone, and just like looking around and being like, can I lay down? Like contemplating almost daily, just like laying down on the floor or laying down on a table. Saying this sounds terrible, but like I just wanted to sleep. Like I was just like thinking about going home. I didn't quite live close enough to just like go home and come back during lunch. It was not worth it. So I was just like, I'm so tired. And then I do remember like, I think it was kind of at the end of the school year, and like kids always like loved to stay after and like work with me on stuff to like get their grade up before the end of school year. I remember one time like all my like 11th grade students were gonna like stay after and like retake a bunch of tests, and I was just like, guys, I have to go home today, I'm really sick. And I was just like, and by the way, I'm pregnant. They were like, we knew it. I was just like, I just wanted them to feel bad for me because I didn't want to diss them, but I was just like, I can't today, I'm sorry. So I was super tired. And then luckily for me, like I don't know what it was like, but it was summer during my second trimester, so that was just really fun because I would just like go lay out at the pool and just like, I was just so happy to like be, and I was just pregnant, so I wasn't even working during my second trimester. So I don't really have an experience during that trimester of like if I would say working full time is worth it, because I was kind of off. And then I would say kind of right when my third trimester hit, I was back at work full time, and that was tough. Like that's when I was just like heavier. I worked on the 3rd floor and I was right by some stairs, and usually I would walk up the stairs every morning because it was just like easier, or I'd have to like go all the way to the front of the school, go up the elevator and walk all the way. I started doing that during my 3rd trimester because I was just like, I'm pregnant. I don't want to walk up these stairs, even though I like wanted to, but I just like didn't. And I remember sitting on my chair a lot and teaching. I would like teach with a projector or like a document camera projector type thing. I would just sit there and like teach. And usually I would like between like teaching examples and stuff, I would walk around and see what kids were doing. And I just didn't. I was just tired. Backing it up a little bit, like, why didn't I just quit? I really should have quit. I actually got a promotion, I guess you would say, like that, like right when I got pregnant, I like got a promotion to be the head of the math department the next year. And I was just like, whoa, like we'd been talking about it for a while, but like I hadn't ever like followed up or like told them I was pregnant. And then I just like got the promotion. They like literally just announced it, and I was like, oh, I got it. And I mean, I knew I was gonna get it, but I just didn't know that they were gonna just like announce it. So anyways, then I was just like, I can't quit, I'm doing this. I was excited to do that because yeah, I was working towards that. So yeah, I stayed working when really I should have quit. My plan was to have my baby, take as much time off as I could, and then go back for a few months and then quit. and like someone was going to take care of my kid while I went to work for the last, like, I would go back to work for like 3-ish months, and then it'd be summer again, and then I would probably quit. So yeah, I went back to work during my 3rd trimester, but if I could do it again, I would have quit as soon as I knew I was pregnant. I actually love having my own business, because now that I know my like pregnancy cycle so well, I can just know that 1st trimester, why do I need to work? This is all fun with the purpose of like making money and helping other people, but like I can put that on pause to prioritize my body, to prioritize me growing a human. And so yeah, if I could go back, I would have like, I even think that for me, not working during my 1st trimester would be super smart. So I just am like a busy bee, a worker bee. So I just like didn't think of like quitting as an option. If you don't already know this, I like took my maternity leave, and then I was just like freaking out about having to go back to work. I didn't really want to leave my baby. I didn't leave my baby. I quit. I didn't feel very classy about that decision, but that's just what I ended up doing, and I don't regret that at all. You know, what I will say about that though is that I was really like trying to please other people. That's why I stayed at that job, and that's why I was considering going back, because I felt like I needed to like do my job. That's just always what I did. I did my job. I literally cried to the HR lady and was like, I'm head of the math department. So she came back and was like, if you stay, we'd probably not have you be the head anymore. You could just be a teacher, so that's not hanging over you. Yeah, I felt like I wanted like to provide financially still. Anyways, all these things, it turned out to be just like a huge, like, why wouldn't I have quit? Like, it didn't really make sense for me to keep working, just mentally, right? Like, I just could not fathom leaving my baby. I don't know. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought I don't know what I thought, guys. I don't know what I thought, like, being a mom would be. I'm still processing, like, what it means to be a mom. I love it, obviously, but I'm just like, this is not something I ever grew up wanting to be. That's kind of weird to say, but like, I was never like, can't wait to be a mom. I think it's just because I'm such an independent person. I knew that like being a mom required me to be married first, or to like have a partner first, and I didn't want to ever rely on someone for anything. So anyways, now that I am a mom, I really love it. I love what I'm doing with my time, with my life right now. So that was my first pregnancy, like all my thoughts surrounding work. After that though, after I quit, and after it had been maybe like 6 or 9-ish months of me like having this child, I was like, I could go back to work. I think I would like to go back to work. I had started posting about tutoring, math tutoring, and I was thinking about doing that a little bit. I was just like, yeah, I could do like a couple hours a week type of thing. And randomly, as soon as I started looking for work, I got this, like literally that week, someone I knew reached out because they needed a math teacher for their homeschool company they had that was a work from home position. And I was just like, well, this is literally perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So I did end up working again. And funnily enough, I was pregnant when I got that job with my 2nd child. And so I was kind of like, oh, I got this job. Again, it was one of those situations where I was like, I'm pregnant. I didn't tell them, but I was just like, do I still want this? And I was just like, I can do it. It's fine. And so I did that job for a while, and I enjoyed it. So I did that job throughout, like having my daughter and being pregnant, and that was great. I really liked it. It was exactly what I thought I wanted. It was exactly probably, I would say, what I wanted at the time. I learned a lot at that job, and it was just like an hourly job, and I felt like I was paid well, like everything was good. It was like 10 to 20 hours a week, kind of on my own time / terms. It was great. And so I like took off, I do think I took off like the last week or 2 of my pregnancy, because again, it was just the end of the pregnancy, and I was just like, oh, I don't feel like working. That's something I will say about my first is I planned to work like until the day I had my daughter. That was like the plan, so that I knew I wanted as much time as I could with her after, like postpartum. So I like was going to work up to the day that I like had her. I ended up taking like a week off before that because I was just like, I'm so tired. I cannot keep working like this. It was way too hard. So that's what I'm saying. Like first trimester, third trimester, those are the times that like I personally don't want to work. So like that's when I would be taking more time off. That's when I would be prioritizing not working and prioritizing myself. So I did that again with my second, as I was like, okay, I'm having this baby. I'm like took off like a week or two before I actually had him. And then I remember I had him and I was just like, woohoo, and like hopped back on to work. Cause it was just like whenever I wanted. Basically like a day or two after I had him, I was just like, okay, I had him, like I'm back. I'm just like, gonna work. I'm a new person. I saw somewhere that like the first 3 months postpartum is like you're running on pure adrenaline. So maybe that's what it is I'm just like, woohoo, had the baby, here we go. And so I just started working for them again and was just like super excited until I wasn't. Probably around 3 months, I was kind of just like, hey, like this is a lot. I was like trying to work when like they both were sleeping. I was just like working so hard to work. And I was just like, this isn't really like what I want to be like prioritizing my time to be spent. And so it was a long journey to quit that job, but I decided to quit that job and start my own business because kind of simultaneously I was like, I don't really want to do this job anymore because I had this idea of like making bullet journals, making planners. And so I decided finally to quit that job and like focus solely on this work. And that I would say was when my son was about 6, 7, 8 months. So like that's kind of when I guess this is actually very interesting for me to realize when I like sink into kind of my new groove with another child in my life. So hopefully that's helpful for you. That at least for me, the first 3 months is like high energy postpartum, and then like kind of after 3 months to like maybe 6 months is when it's kind of like, okay, let's find like the groove, like the sweet spot of like this integrating this baby into our life and how we want to incorporate work moving forward with this baby. Ooh, that's really exciting to hear because I'm coming up on my baby being 6 months, and I have felt like a shift in like my work right now as I'm kind of like, how do I want to be prioritizing my time? Do I want to be spending as much time working or not? So I'm kind of in that phase right now. And so, yeah, you're going to see, I guess, when I like kind of shift into 6 months postpartum, since that's kind of my jam. But I am feeling super excited about this pregnancy planner and helping ladies with this transition of becoming a mom or becoming a mom of more than one, like 2, 3, 4, however many kids you're about to have with your pregnancy. So I am very, very excited. Okay, well, that's kind of all I had planned for this podcast. I'm just like someone who loves to work. If you can't already tell, like I just have like that independence within me, and just the desire to create is just like so strong. Ultimately, I do think that being a mom is the highest form of creation. That is my personal opinion, and I feel like motherhood has led me to this work that I'm pretty obsessed with. I'm so grateful I get to do it. I'm so grateful that it supports me spending so much time with my kids right now, which I just like truly, truly enjoy. And so that could be something else for you to think about, and also like not compare yourself to me on, is just like I am so excited to just like hang out with my kids all day, every day. I don't know, like I've kind of cleared my schedule this month, right? I kind of was like taking a little bit of a break, really getting introspective and like deciding like how I want to prioritize my time. And I've had a lot of days of kind of just spending very little like mental energy, very little time on my work, and been like, yeah, I do like this. So again, this is like a small piece of my life. However, like want it to be impactful and powerful. I'm also just really excited because a couple episodes back I talked about some questions I like to ask myself daily. And two of the questions I like to ask myself as I'm journaling in the morning is like, what would inspire me today, or what's my highest level yes today? And that's usually one or two things. And realizing I could just do that one thing. If I just do that highest level yes, or if I just do that inspiring thing, and I do that every single day, then like this is going to grow into something super strong and wonderful and beautiful. So I'm feeling so much less like pressure to be working, pressure to not be with my kids. I just want to be with them right now during this time, because I feel that they won't always want me like they want me right now. And so I'm leaning into that. I love leaning into that. I have so much joy doing that, and I just hope that you do too. And if you have any like thoughts about like this transition, like what your work experience was like being pregnant or postpartum, I would love to hear them. I feel like mine was just like a complete 180, like working full time to like barely working. I don't know. It's just crazy. And feeling so rich and valuable doing those things is honestly just like a big blessing for me. So we are all different. So again, no comparison here, but this is just my experience, and hopefully it helps you navigate what you're going through if you're pregnant or going to be pregnant or hoping to be pregnant soon. Like, these are just all my thoughts related to work. And so if you want a pregnancy planner, message me on Instagram. I think I'm going to pre-sell them like half price soon, because I'm just really excited about these planners. And randomly, all my babies are sleeping right now, which is doesn't happen like ever. But I do hear my youngest waking up and being really happy. So I'm going to go get her. But be on the lookout for that pregnancy planner. And should you quit your job if you're pregnant, totally up to you. I do think it's really helpful to know what your cycle is like, to know that like you are bringing someone into this world that is going to change your mind. I did not think I would want to quit my job as strongly as I felt like I was needed to quit my job. Again, nobody needs to quit their job. That's just my experience. But like, get prepared for what's coming into your life. It's going to be such a amazing thing. I'm very excited for you. And I will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. See ya.